Hello everyone, I'm back to present another video to you. This one will be on types of chemical reactions. Now before you see this video, which is a probably high school level video or Gen Chem level video, I recommend you see my videos on ionic compounds, as well as my ionic versus covalent bonding video, and my videos on the atom. So with that, I'm going to get started in explaining these types of chemical reactions. So I took the liberty to write them out ahead of time, since I've tried this video with writing them in the video and I always ran out of time. So what we have is 6 types of chemical reactions. Now there are more types of chemical reactions and special types of chemical reactions, but for this level of chemistry, we're just going to keep it at 6. Now, the first 4 are the main types, and I'm going to try and explain these the best I can to you. So the way I'm going to do that is by explaining it by use of the wonderful high school event known as prom. So just keep prom in your head. So, formation or synthesis. What happens is you have a boy who goes to prom alone, and you have a girl that goes to prom alone. And then they end up together. That's the sweet case, right? How sweet, I know. Now, we're going to talk about decomposition and dissociation. Well, that's when you have a couple that goes to prom together. They get into a fight because he won't do the slow dance with her, and that's always the end of a relationship. And you get him leaving prom alone, her leaving prom alone. Usually they're mad at each other, and usually they came in the same car, so she'll probably get a ride with a friend and he'll have to drive his lonely way back home. I know, it's kind of depressing. And so, as you can see from these first 2, they are pretty much the opposite of each other. So one chemical will add itself to another chemical. These 2 chemicals will bond either ionically or covalently to make this new compound. Now, in the case of dissociation or decomposition, you have a compound either ionic or covalent, and something about the system causes them to break apart, such as an ion is thrown in water. An ionic compound is thrown in water, such as salt. When you put it in water, it dissociates to create, say, sodium chloride dissociates to create a sodium ion and a chlorine ion in water. Now let's move on to single displacement. Now back to prom. What we have is a couple goes to prom, and they're all happy and ready to go to prom. She's wearing a nice dress, he's wearing a pretty tux that matches, but oh no, there is another guy, and he has a goatee, and high school guys with goatees who are smooth always get the girls, especially when the nerd takes the girl to school. Trust me, I know. And so what happens is the guy with the goatee, or compound C, will take the girl from Mr. A, and so then A is left all by himself, and B, well, she is just too snobby to be with him, and so she just goes with the nice handsome guy with a goatee. And not to mention, guy A was probably too good for girl B anyway. So with this reaction, what we have is pretty much a substitution happening, where C will be the dominant over A, because goatee is dominant over nerd, and so B will go with C. And now we'll go with double displacement. It's a lot like the single displacement, or as they're sometimes called, single substitution or double substitution. But instead this time, we will have couple AB going to prom, as well as couple CD is going to go to prom. What's going to happen is this couple will be separated. Say he goes to get her some punch, and so she's left on the dance floor during a fun song that requires someone to dance with. And over here, C and D compounds get into an argument. And so what happens is guy C sees girl B on the dance floor and decides to start dancing with her. And so you have B and C now as a couple. Now A, who just came back with the punch, sees girl B dancing with guy C, and now he's jealous, but he sees girl D crying. And so what is he going to do, being the gentleman that he is? Well, he is going to join with her, and they are going to dance together. And not to mention, girl D, to make her feel better, she gets a punch from this. Yay, happiness. And now both these new couples leave prom together, happy as can be. And so, with that is the 4 basic types of reactions, and now a little bit on acid, base, and combustion. This one, sadly, I'm not going to be able to relate to prom, because these are more specialty type of reactions. So an acid-base reaction, what you have is a special type of displacement reaction where you will have HA, where H is a hydrogen ion and A is a general form for an acid. And then that will bind with B, meaning base, OH. Now OH is an OH ion. And this is always associated with something that is basic. B just means it's a general base. It could be sodium, it could be acetate, it could be any number of things. And so what we get is we have water and we have AB. Now AB is almost always a salt. So just remember that this reaction of acid and base creates water and salt. So salt, water, acid, and base. And now I'm going to move on to the combustion, because I assume you guys can understand all of this that's gone on thus far. With a combustion reaction, usually we will have an organic compound. For simplicity reasons, I'm going to use ethane, which is C2H6. And with a combustion, it always is an organic compound reacting with oxygen in the air. And what happens is this reaction will go to form carbon dioxide, so it'll be CO2 plus H2O. And now the last part is to balance the reaction, and now I'm going to recommend that you actually watch a video on balancing reactions, which I'm going to put up as soon as I can. But just that video should go alongside this one. So what we have is 2 carbons on this side, we need 2 carbons on this side, so we put a 2. Now the carbons are equal. Now we need 6 hydrogens on, we have 6 hydrogens on this side, we need 6 hydrogens on this side, and we have 2. So we just simply put a 3. So then we have 4 oxygens plus 3 oxygens, that equals 7 oxygens, but we have a multiple of 2. But we need 7. So what we are going to do is we are going to do something a little unorthodox when it comes to balancing reactions. We are going to put 7 over 2 to balance it out. And so that's just about everything on the types of chemical reactions. I recommend watching the video on balancing reactions, and just know that when it comes to this mole fraction here, that only occurs in combustion reactions. Well, not only, but for now, just concentrated in combustion.